Okay, so apparently there was a huge change in the story of Lilo and Stitch in the live-action adaptation of the movie from Disney.
Is anyone else disturbed by Disney changing the full messaging and meaning behind Lilo and Stitch?
It is really unfortunate to see Lilo and Stitch go woke, but that's the crossroads we're at right now.
Ohana means family, and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. What was that ending?
So Ohana doesn't mean family in the new live-action Lilo and Stitch, or at least that's how people are making it seem.
I don't know why everyone's acting like you can't have standards for kids' movies anymore. Oh my god, the ending of the movie is insane.
I never thought in my 22 years of existence that there would be a movie so awful, so bad, a Disney movie no less, that both sides of the aisle, the right and the left, have looked at each other, gone, you know what, we're gonna put aside our differences real quick because that shit can't fly. That is not okay. We don't like that.
There's been a lot of talk online right now about the live action Lilo and Stitch, and a lot of people are upset about the things that Disney did to change the original message of the OG movie. And honestly, this isn't anything new. Disney has been using their live action movies in order to change the messaging of the movie and update it for modern audiences. But a lot of people are concerned that the message of the original Lilo and Stitch movie is getting lost in this modern take of the live action movie. And what is that message? Well, that message is the message of Ohana and the importance of family. Nobody gets left behind or forgotten. And that was the important lesson imparted on Lilo and Nani by their parents who tragically had passed away in a car accident. But the reason people are upset is because the message of Ohana, the message of family, kind of gets lost in this new adaptation or just muddled in this new adaptation. So I went to go and see the live action Lilo and Stitch, and I'm not gonna lie, even after being disappointed over and over and over again by Disney live action adaptations, I was kind of looking forward to this one simply because the marketing for this new movie looked relatively close to the original movie. And I actually thought to myself, like, how could Disney fail in the live action Lilo and Stitch? The story is so simple. The message is so clear in the original cartoon.
Ohana means family. Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
There's no way they can mess it up with the live action movie. And it just didn't work. Why the ending of Lilo and Stitch remake has got everyone talking about Ohana. Lilo and Stitch ending features a very controversial choice. Lilo and Stitch live action remake facing backlash over ending change. Disney's live action Lilo and Stitch makes massive controversial change to the original ending. So what is this controversial change that everybody is talking about that has everybody up in arms and is causing so much backlash towards Lilo and Stitch? Well, it has to do with the character of Nani. Spoilers are coming up for the live action Lilo and Stitch movie. So if you are planning on seeing it, then you don't want to be spoiled, then you can leave here, go watch the movie, come back. If you don't really care, then let's proceed with the video. So in the original, Nani retains custody of Lilo and Stitch as well, under the protection of like the International Galactic Space Alien,
the United Galactic Federation.
And they also take on a few new family members such as Jumba, Plinkly, and even Bubbles.
Don't let those two get on my ship.
And we see them at the very end living happily ever after, rebuilding their house and spending a ton of holidays, with even adding David to their family, implying that he is a pseudo father figure to Lilo. In the new live action movie, they did change the character of Nani, and they almost split her character into two separate people. Nani in the live action remake is very stressed. She's yelling at Lilo, and she sort of looks at Lilo as a burden. And Lilo can sense this. She feels bad that Nani has to take care of her. In the live action remake, Nani doesn't really believe in Ohana anymore, saying that their parents left them behind, and yells at Lilo to come back to reality because they're living in reality and believing in Ohana is fantasy. There are some heartfelt moments between Nani and Lilo in this movie, but it comes before Nani makes a decision, and that decision is giving Lilo to the state, signing over her rights, and putting Lilo into foster care.
Apparently, the whole subplot about Nani wanting to have custody over her sister got altered so badly that this scene means absolutely nothing.
Please, don't do this.
You know I have no choice.
No! You're not taking her! I'm the only one who understands her. You take that away, she won't stand a chance. You don't know what you're doing. She needs me.
This is because at the end of this movie, Nani gives Lilo to the state,
so she can fulfill her own dream of becoming, I believe, a marine biologist or something along those lines on the mainland. She even leaves Hawaii.
In this moment, it almost feels like Disney's purposefully stripping the source material from anything interesting or provoking. Nani's fight for her sister is what made the movie so interesting and so heart-wrenching.
Lilo is finally accepting Nani as her mother figure, and Nani is about to give Lilo up to the state. Now, they do add a layer of character to Nani, and this layer of character kind of replaces the compassion that she has for Lilo, the values that she places on family, and the importance of family. And those characteristics are that Nani is incredibly smart. Nani has won all of these awards, and she now has a full scholarship to go study marine biology. And she can't do that anymore because her parents died, and now she has to take care of Lilo. Now, in my personal opinion, I think that adding a new layer of achievements to Nani's character is good, but to be honest, I think that they actually added this just so it could be okay for Nani to give Lilo up to the state in order to go and achieve her dreams, to go to college and study marine biology. Because if it was like the original Lilo and Stitch and she was just trying to look for a job because she got fired, then her giving up Lilo would look bad. So they had to give her something else. They had to give her a layer of character to say, look, it's okay that she's giving up Lilo because now she gets to go and pursue her dreams, which to me is a very progressive message. Like, it's sort of telling you that kids will get in the way of your dreams. If you have responsibilities of a child, then that means you won't be able to pursue anything you want to pursue in life. And that's a terrible message to send to people. In the original one, family was everything to Nani. She fought tooth and nail to make sure that Lilo stayed in her care because she already lost her mom and dad and she didn't want to lose her sister as well.
If the message was like, oh, she should be able to get higher education, then the message should have been that as a native Hawaiian, she should be given access to higher education in marine biology on the island that she is entitled to be on, instead of forcing her to go to the mainland.
The animated Lilo and Stitch was relating to a portion of society where people are making the beautiful and loving choice to sacrifice a portion of their life so someone can have a better one. This change in the new movie breeds selfishness. That's what it is, selfishness. I'm not saying that people can't follow their dreams or work hard for their goals, but when you clearly have a responsibility and have the ability and the support to care for those who can't care for themselves, but instead make the choice to leave them behind so you can follow your own aspirations, it is called selfishness.
No native Hawaiian would ever do that. One, they get free college at Hawaii University. Native Hawaiians get free college at Hawaii University. So she gave up free college to study marine biology to go to California? That makes no sense. Like, what is happening here?
Nani adapting her life in order to care for Lilo is an important part of her healing following her parents' death. Hawaiian values emphasize a sort of harmony with each other and with the land, which is why Lilo and Nani stay together and would never leave the island, even after the house was destroyed.
There are many instances in the original animation that show her love and compassion and care for Lilo. That love, compassion, and care is actually given to a different character in the live action movie, and it is their neighbor, the person that ends up taking Lilo in at the end. In the live action movie, they keep all of Nani's bad traits onto Nani and they give her good traits to the neighbor. The movie's goal with this ending is to make it seem like everybody gets what they want. Nani gets to pursue her dreams, Lilo goes to live with a nice neighbor, and things are generally warm and fuzzy. In the original animated movie, Nani is the one who hears Lilo's wish for a friend and takes it upon herself to take her to go and get a dog. Go and pick out a friend.
Go, pick someone out.
And she even protects Lilo by stopping the lady who was selling them the dog from criticizing Lilo's choice in naming Stitch Stitch.
You'll have to think of a name for him.
His name is Stitch.
Oh, no, that's not a real name. In Iceland. But here it's a good name. Stitch it is.
This is taken away from Nani, and now it's the neighbor lady who kind of lets Lilo go off to the animal shelter and ultimately allows Lilo to buy Stitch and takes him home to Nani, who has a complete meltdown over them bringing home a dog. Nani and Lilo share some pizza, and Lilo tells her about her hitting Myrtle and why she did it.
I hit Myrtle Edmonds today.
You hit her?
Before I bit her.
You bit her.
Nani comforts her sister, who is crying because she feels like she's a burden and she's upset that they're a broken family.
We're a broken family, aren't we?
No. Maybe a little. Oh.
People treat me different.
They just don't know what to say.
In the new live action movie, Nani brings Lilo pizza when she's about to break the news to her that she's giving her up to the state. Now, Nani is unable to do that because she runs away and then Lilo follows her. And that conversation kind of never really happens because Nani can't bring herself to tell her sister that she's going to be giving her up the next day.
I changed my mind.
What's that?
I like you as a mom too.
And it ends up being a quiet, somber scene because Nani knows that she's no longer going to be the caretaker for Lilo. The audience knows this, but Lilo doesn't know this. So you end up feeling terrible for Lilo. As opposed to the animated movie where you want these two sisters to make it. You want Nani to be able to take care of Lilo. You are rooting for this family. You're not feeling sorry for them.
The original Nani would never have done this, and this is completely against her character.
Why can't she get an education in Hawaii? Out of all of the changes I could have predicted this movie would make, Nani giving Lilo to a different family is at the bottom of my prediction list. It's the craziest move. That's how it ends?
In the original animated movie where Lilo reminds Nani of Ohana, and when she does that, Nani's like, okay, fine, I hate it when you use Ohana against me because that is a core value within their family. Even though they are a broken family, they still remain that core family value. That family is everything. Family comes first.
This movie is trying to tell people that there's an ideal situation, and sometimes sacrificing people sacrificing people you love for the sake of following this ideal is worth the sacrifice. This movie, Lilo and Stitch, is glorifying the idea of giving up on a child when the common reality is that people have had to give up a lot so that kids could have a stable, loving, grown adult in their life that is a constant presence.
Through these tiny rewrites in the live action remake, you're led to believe that Nani giving up Lilo to the state and placing her in foster care is the right decision. Because now, Nani no longer has the stress of trying to raise a 6-year-old child. Now, Nani can go back to school and pursue her dreams. And it is totally okay for Nani to give Lilo up to the state, and the state placing Lilo in the home of the neighbor lady, because the neighbor lady now has all of the compassion and values that animated Nani had. So you're made to believe that Lilo is going to a better place. I wish I could remember the neighbor lady's name, but she is a new character and I don't remember her name. But this character tells Nani that yes, Ohana means nobody gets left behind, but you need to make sure that you don't leave yourself behind. So they turn Ohana into a kind of selfish message.
Nobody gets left behind. It's also your kuleana to make sure you don't leave yourself behind.
Family might come first, but what about me? There's also conversations happening around the messaging of this movie because the original animated movie had the message of Ohana means family and family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten. It is a story about family and the importance of family. Then what is this new movie saying? If that is no longer the case, what is the message of this new movie? And some people have said that, well, it's propaganda for social services. Many objections from fans on social media are connected to the idea that the movie attempts to paint the government's involvement in family choices as positive. Social services in this movie plays a bigger role than it did in the animated movie. And it's almost incredibly manipulative as well. Nani is put between a rock and a hard place. They give her impossible deadlines. If it's meant to be realistic, the idea that somebody who doesn't really have a job right now getting health insurance in a week isn't very realistic. However, social services does imply to Nani that they have Lilo's best interest and Nani's best interest at heart, and they will cover all expenses, all medical bills. All Nani has to do is give Lilo up to the state.
Nani literally gives up her sister Lilo to the state, and the state gives Lilo to her neighbor. And people believe that this is glorifying foster care system, so glorifying how native peoples have been mistreated by the government for centuries.
That is literally a sick propaganda that displacement is okay. It's not. And it is so sickening that Disney used a really adorable character to push this messaging.
The plotline of the U.S. government trying to take Lilo away from Nani is actually a commentary on the forced annexation of Hawaii and how indigenous children are disproportionately placed in the foster care system by the government.
If you know the history of Hawaii, then you already know this is problematic because of that. But it is especially problematic because this goes against Ohana. Because Ohana means nobody gets left behind, but Lilo gets left behind because Nani leaves her to go fulfill her own life life and dreams of doing her own career.
And in the new movie Lilo and Stitch, inviting the government into your home as a member of your ohana is looked at as something that is beneficial to the family. And I may be reaching with that point, and that's totally fine. And I may be reaching with this next point too, which is my original takeaway from this movie when I left the theater, which is that gone was the message of ohana, which really only applied to Stitch in this movie. And in its place is a modern feminist version which implies that children are a burden and will get in the way of you achieving your dreams. They twist the meaning of ohana to mean make sure you don't leave yourself behind. And like I said, I might be reaching with that take, but that's really what the message seems to be with that movie. Children will get in the way of you achieving whatever dreams you want to achieve in life. And that is incredibly anti-family. It is the opposite of ohana.
Now look here. Look, listen. This is important. 3 days. $2. We see the stamp. Thieving ass. Take note of this. Lilo set her up. The grand councilwoman just gotta bring it home. Watch, listen. Look, listen.
A sentence that shall be henceforth served out here.
Where's it being served?
On Earth.
On Earth. Okay.
As caretaker of the alien life form Stitch,
Tell us.
this family is now under the official protection of the United Galactic Federation. We'll be checking it out.
For those who do not understand the significance of this scene, through the actions of Stitch throughout the whole movie, and Lilo buying him at the animal shelter, and these aliens living and breathing by this code and their laws, the Grand Councilwoman has no choice but to let the Pelikai sisters go ahead and be the caretakers of this illegal genetic experimentation under their protection. Through the actions of Lilo and Stitch, this family, although small and broken, was able to stay together directly by his actions and her actions and her perseverance. It all piles up, and it's the reason why they are all still together. It was a group effort. Effectively, he is the Stitch that kept their family together. In the live action film, Nani goes off to college, David and his grandmother come in, and they effectively adopt Lilo through the efforts of the state and the social service worker. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they probably could have done that at any time prior to Stitch's arrival. So I ask, even if you like what they did with Nani going off to college and whatnot, what purpose does Stitch serve if they could have done that at any point prior to him arriving on Earth? Like, what the fuck were they waiting for?
If you are going to watch this movie for the character of Stitch and the adorableness of Stitch, and for the character of Lilo, because the actress who plays Lilo is super adorable, you know, her acting with Stitch pretty much makes and carries the movie. If you are going to watch this movie for those two characters only, you will enjoy this movie. Just ignore everything else around you and stick to the characters of Lilo and Stitch. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you all think in those comments down below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everyone.